So you have teenage daughters, and
Yes.
I would think that anyone that they're dating would be scared to death to come to the house with love.
The fall of a titan is never quiet. Sean Diddy Combs, once the untouchable king of hip-hop, now sits in a Brooklyn detention center, his empire unraveling under the weight of accusations that have shocked the world. The music mogul whose Bad Boy records reshaped the sound of the 90s and whose parties defined decadence, faces a trial set for May 5, 2025, that could lock him away for life. Charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution, Combs is at the center of a legal storm that has captivated the public and fractured his legacy. But in a dramatic twist, his legal team has thrown a curveball that has sparked outrage, skepticism, and debate. They claim Combs might not have been mentally capable of committing these crimes, his mind clouded by years of drug and alcohol abuse. It's a defense that walks a razor's edge, admitting to personal demons while denying criminal intent, and it's one that could redefine the narrative of his downfall. The saga began in September 2024, when federal agents arrested Combs in a Manhattan hotel lobby, a moment that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The indictment painted a chilling picture of what prosecutors call the Combs Enterprise, a sprawling network allegedly involving Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, this enterprise wasn't just a business. It was a criminal operation that enabled Combs to sexually, physically, and emotionally abuse victims for years, often under the guise of lavish, freak-off parties. These events, described as drug-fueled, days-long sexual performances, were allegedly orchestrated by Combs, who is accused of coercing women and male sex workers with promises of financial support, career opportunities, or romantic relationships, only to trap them with threats of violence or blackmail. Prosecutors claim he recorded these acts, using the footage as leverage to ensure silence. The allegations are as lurid as they are damning. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant found in raids on his homes, guns, drugs, and a 2016 hotel video of Combs brutally assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The footage, released by CNN in May 2024, shows Combs kicking and dragging Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel hallway, a scene he later called inexcusable in a public apology. Combs, now 55, has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His legal team, led by the formidable Mark Agnifilo and Brian Steele, fighting to clear his name. Their strategy has been bold, even provocative. At a pre-trial hearing on April 25, 2025, before U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian, Agnifilo revealed a glimpse of their defense. Combs was a swinger, not a trafficker, engaging in consensual sexual encounters that reflected a lifestyle, not a crime. They've demanded access to 9 videos cited in the indictment, arguing these will show adults having consensual sex, plain and simple, free of coercion or violence. They've also challenged the 2016 Ventura video, claiming it was manipulated, sped up and edited out of sequence, though Judge Subramanian ruled it admissible, stating it posed no unfair prejudice to Combs. The defense's push for a 2-month trial delay was denied, leaving them just weeks to prepare for a case that could hinge on perception as much as evidence. Then came the bombshell. On April 28, 2025, court documents revealed a new argument. Combs' lawyers suggested his substance use may have impaired his mental capacity to commit the alleged crimes. The filing, reported by People, prompted an immediate response from prosecutors, who filed a motion to block any testimony suggesting Combs lacked the mental clarity to be held accountable. The claim is a high-stakes gamble. By admitting to struggles with drugs and alcohol, Combs' team risks reinforcing the image of a man spiraling out of control, a far cry from the polished entrepreneur who built a billion-dollar empire. Yet it also seeks to humanize him, painting a picture of a flawed figure battling addiction, not a calculating predator. Posts on X exploded with reactions, some mocking the defense as desperate. Drug addiction is an excuse for trafficking now? One user wrote, while others, like legal commentator David Lesh, noted that in the legal world, capacity is king, though it comes with the risk of implicitly admitting to some wrongdoing. The strategy isn't without precedent, but it's fraught with challenges. New York's strict insanity standards mean Combs' team would need to prove involuntary intoxication or a long-term drug-induced mental illness to argue he's not legally responsible, a nearly impossible bar to clear. Prosecutors, led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Madison Smizer, are ready to counter, emphasizing the calculated nature of the alleged crimes. They point to the freak-offs as meticulously planned, with Combs allegedly using ketamine, ecstasy, and other drugs to incapacitate victims, ensuring compliance. The indictment details a pattern of control, threats of physical violence, financial manipulation, and even a 2011 911 call from a man reporting a break-in prosecutors claim Combs committed. The defense, meanwhile, has pushed to limit the scope of testimony, arguing that prior sexual assault allegations not charged in the indictment should be excluded to avoid prejudicing the jury. Combs' time in the Metropolitan Detention Center has only added to the narrative of his unraveling. Described as solemn and anxious in court, he's been held since his arrest, denied bail despite multiple attempts by his lawyers. Reports of his kindness in prison, including a comment from fellow inmate Sam Bankman-Fried that Combs has been kind to people in the unit, contrast sharply with the monstrous figure painted by prosecutors. His legal woes extend beyond the criminal case, with over 60 civil lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault, some dating back decades. One, filed by a John Doe, alleges Combs drugged and assaulted him in a 1997 recording studio, paying him to stay quiet. Another, from a woman named Dickerson, claims assault, battery, and revenge porn distributed by Combs. A high-profile suit accusing Combs and Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old in 2000 was dropped, but the sheer volume of claims, many filed, by Texas lawyer Tony Busby, has fueled a media frenzy, with documentaries like The Fall of Diddy and podcasts like The Trial of Diddy shaping public perception. The trial looms as a reckoning, not just for Combs, but for an industry that long celebrated his influence. He's credited with launching the careers of Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and Usher, turning hip-hop into a cultural juggernaut. His Sean John clothing line, Ciroc vodka deal, and Bad Boy Empire made him a billionaire. A rags to riches story that once inspired millions. But the allegations suggest a darker side, one that used wealth and power to silence and exploit. Jury selection will be critical, with Combs' team requesting questionnaires to probe jurors' views on sex, drugs, and violence, hoping to find those untainted by the media saturation. Prosecutors have criticized the 72-question survey as excessive, preferring in-person questioning by the judge. The presence of expert witnesses like Dr. Ann Burgess, who testified in R. Kelly's trial, could further complicate the defense's efforts to frame Combs' actions as consensual. As the May 5 trial date approaches, the question isn't just whether Combs will walk free, but whether he can salvage any piece of his legacy. The defense's mental capacity argument has sparked a broader conversation about accountability, addiction, and the limits of celebrity privilege. Can a man who built an empire on charisma and control convince a jury he was too impaired to know right from wrong? Or will the evidence, videos, witness testimonies, and a trail of accusers prove too overwhelming? The courtroom will be a stage, and Combs, once a master of spectacle, now faces his most unforgiving audience. What do you think? Does the mental capacity defense hold water, or is it a desperate ploy? Should addiction ever excuse such serious allegations? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this deep dive into Diddy's legal battle gripped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that peel back the curtain on fame's darkest corners.